What you might not know about this comic is that it has a big tear on the back cover. This is Sable issue 5, rounding out this fun two-parter with Savel's visit to Doomland. Our cover here has her fighting a lot of Doom bots, and right now she has disguised herself as one to try and sneak around Mr. Doom's castle without detection. It hasn't really worked out well for her because she is facing a Mr. Doom imposter, since this is taking place during the Marvel mega crossover Infinity Wars. And Savel's diplomatic meeting with Mr. Doom was hijacked by Mr. Doom's Doppelganger. Back with her crew, we have further Infinity Wars hijinks. One of her team, Sandman, has been switched out for his Doppelganger. We saw that last issue. And it is determined to kill the rest of the squad. We get to see Bucky in action here. I liked that. Getting to see Bucky do stuff. The rest of her mercenary crew are all new characters for this series, and they haven't been set up too well for a new reader in this two-parter. It has that Legion of Superheroes thing, where one of them will refer to another one by their real name. They'll say Chen, and I don't know which one Chen is. During all this, we have substantial scenes that are important to the actual Infinity Wars story, with the real Mr. Doom and Kronos on a supervillain team-up. The scenes in this issue place it within Infinity Wars issue 4, and this scene corresponds to a scene in that issue. Mr. Doom and Kronos have located the villain's Citadel base, and they are ready to strike, but they also both intend to backstab each other. It is great stuff. We have a cat and mouse game between Sable and Mr. Doom's Doppelganger. Wright fun. I did promise you I would discuss the overall nitpicks and issues with these Infinity Wars Doppelgangers. And that is what I intend to do here when Bucky saves the day. Bucky, by the by, Bucky and Sandman are two big reasons I would want to check out the rest of this series. Anyway, Bucky is a good example of the big problem. Sandman was targeted for replacement. Why wasn't Bucky? For that matter, why wasn't Sable? If you were thinking that they are too low down on the chain to matter or warrant replacing, D-Man had a Doppelganger. D-Man, who wasn't even active as a superhero anymore. D-Man had a Doppelganger. The Galactical Guardians, who aren't even from this reality, they had Doppelgangers. The D-list villains on Dan Slott's Masters of Evil team, they had Doppelgangers. I think the Doppelgangers were an idea Jim Starman expanded into a far greater role in the crossover, down to it being a bloody easy premise for writers to do crossover tie-ins around. You have the hero fight their Doppelganger. Simple source. There may be something like this where you have a hero fight someone else's Doppelganger. The No Man tie-in, for example, has him fight Ed Gambit's Doppelganger, but that has plenty of Affinity Wars continuity problems too. The Doppelgangers were fodder. They were within the story and even referred to in the bad guy's plan as a distraction. They were to keep the heroes of Earth busy and confused, and then they would ultimately serve as a subservient species for the villain to rule over after replacing Earth with his version of Earth. Some of the Doppelgangers were important. The funniest one was playfully positioned as the villain's Mr. Smithers to really chafe at the real Thanius. Mr. Fantastical's Doppelganger was also an important one, as that switch out was instrumental in gathering the heroes together and sowing the seeds of distrust. Spider-Man's Doppelganger, which barely features in Affinity Wars, was of note as it continued to appear after the crossover was finished. Same with Daredevil's, which was resurrected with Voodoo afterwards. The Doppelgangers were only meant to keep Earth's heroes busy and ineffectual, and that is what we are seeing a bit here with Sandman's copy and the Wild Bunch. What I like most about this story, though, is it really is a solid Sybil spotlight. She is by herself, trapped behind enemy lines, as it were, and she is using her own wits and skills to survive. Then at the end, her team show up to help out, but it has more than given us enough of Sybil Savile holding her own on her lonesome. You know how much these phone line scams annoy me. Almost as much as the music of The Doors. Raven Shaddock sings Break On Through. Krusty the Clown did it better. Back with Mr. Doom and Kronos. This also is straight from Affinity Wars. The pair have found the villain's cache of cosmic trinkets collected from the Crossroads. Possibly the Crossroads dimension from Incredible Hulk. Basically, these are cosmic cubes of different shapes collected from other dimensions. We officially call them cosmic containment units. But what I like about the scene is it actually front loads it, and we don't get the bit with them both saying amazing in unison. That always seemed a bit dopey. Like last time, we get little slivers of new dialogue or thought balloon here. After this, the duo take centre stage in Affinity Wars issue 5. Maybe my favourite issue of Affinity Wars. Kazar is another main player in that one. God, I do like Affinity Wars. It's a good story. A lot of people see it only as an okay sequel to Affinity Gauntlets. They see it as diminishing returns. But there is a lot of overlooked ideas in Affinity Wars. And of all the Affinity crossovers, it had the most tie-ins, which meant it also managed to have some good ones. This has one or two things causing a little bit of trouble for the continuity, but it's very good at seizing the crossover to tell an engaging story. Here, this is what the Doppelgangers look like underneath. Fleshy things. And we end with a direct lead-in trying to push readers towards Affinity Worlds. We see all the other Marvel characters assembled on Galactus Man's ship, straight from Affinity Worlds issue 4. Hope you didn't spot the rip on the back. The hope is you forgot about it over the course of the video. It's really big. I don't like that I have a damaged copy, but good story this though. I want to do more Affinity Worlds, but I think most of you all want me to do the harder crossovers. So I'll give this 7 thumbs up and dream of one day looking at another part of Affinity Worlds after 30 videos about the DC crossover Millennium.